At a college class reunion, I met this person. To celebrate, we used a classmate's family property. The weather was wonderful that day. My pals and I played baseball at the farm to see who could hit the furthest. When the game started, my classmates and I took turns hitting first. All batted hard to hit the ball farther. I struggled to hit the ball far. A loss for me. I was supposed to find all the baseballs in remote regions per the rules. High farm fences with barbed wire. I jumped off the fence and wounded my palm on the rough barbed wire. In an instant, blood gushed from the wound. My palm couldn't take further pressure, so I couldn't go back. Distance prevented partygoers from noticing my ailment. I had to return to the celebration immediately since I was terrified. After finding water, I cleansed the wound at the gathering. It bled continuously and appeared deep. I tightly knotted my shirt over the cut to stop the bleeding. Because of my sporting injuries, I have a high pain threshold and tried to stay calm. However, the bright red blood soaked my clothes as the cut kept gushing. To calm my students, I assured them I would be fine and powerful. I realized I needed medical help because the problem had become emergency over time. I needed sutures urgently, but the nearest hospital was an hour away by automobile. I always told myself everything will be okay when I was anxious. It had been over an hour since my injury when I checked my watch. A pleasant sensation started in my feet and spread throughout my body. An inexplicable feeling made me feel quite out of place. Despite not knowing what was about to happen, I told my best friend something was unusual and promised her I would be fine. Staying positive was my goal. After that, I felt light, like my body was escaping its confines. I entered another universe because of this emotion. I slowly slipped out of my body and entered a realm beyond ours. I cannot describe that experience. It was unimaginable. My deep calm erased all discomfort and anxiety. I retained my individuality after leaving this body. I was utterly unprepared. People around me while I hum in midair. To calm them, I shouted, "Hey, I'm right here." I shouted, "I'm fine." But nobody heard. I tried tapping a friend on the shoulder, but he didn't respond. This was confusing me. I suddenly felt like I was flying aimlessly. This made me concerned because it meant I couldn't change the incident. As I rose, the sky went dark. All around me was darkness, with no light source. It felt like time stopped here. I felt lost in a dark maze. I sensed imminent dread like countless eyes were watching me. Angry ghosts with gigantic limbs and awful faces hissed low in the air. I hated these demons' atmosphere. They changed into monsters and intriguing people. The atmosphere made me feel forlorn. They surrounded me and tried to pull me into the hole. I remained hopeful. I began praying to stay afloat from these beasts. Thank goodness my prayers were answered. I kept rising above the evil ghosts. I hoped the beautiful light in the distance was the one I would find. As I entered this light, pure energy surrounded me. Light warmed and strengthened my body, giving me a sensation of well-being. Standing before me was a white-robed person. His eyes were friendly and sympathetic. He knew me well. He said, "Welcome to this place," softly but powerfully. I felt understood and valued, like returning home. "Your faith and prayers have brought you here, and you successfully fought off those evil spirits," he said. "Your questions will be answered." His appearance suggested he was my guide. He yelled, "Please follow me," before diving into the light. I followed, intrigued. We entered a new planet through a gate. A stunning vista of structures unfolded before me. The man led me into a huge library-like facility. Many books and scrolls lined the shelves. The guide promised I'd find my calling here. I investigated this mysterious haven for answers. I learned forgiveness and love there. I learned about the universe's origins, mechanics, and purpose. He was my mentor and courteous when I had questions. He helped me broaden my thinking. Time seemed to stop in this mysterious library. I eventually realized that we are all interrelated cosmic beings with unique missions and purposes, and that the journey is the point. This mysterious library provided the answers I needed. The man escorted me to a peaceful garden. Flowers emitted a pleasant scent. A valley in the distance was our next stop, the man said. During the climb, we trekked through dense forest. Man believes every challenge is a blessing from above. They make us courageous and strong. In difficult times, we push ourselves to the utmost. Finally, we reached the mountaintop. As the twilight approached, the man said we should be grateful for each day of sunshine. At that time, I understood the importance of life appreciation. Standing on the peak, I felt calm and determined. I wanted to change the world by sharing my knowledge and goodwill with everyone I encountered. While watching me, the man encouraged me to believe in my ability and pursue my values. I turned to him, grateful. I realized we had to part ways and I needed to return to reality to complete my quest. The man gently caressed me. I inhaled as I admired the sight. I thanked him knowing I would never get another chance. I turned and down the mountain. Everything was genuine. When the pain returned, I woke up. My class was waiting for me when I woke up. Surprised by their reaction, I stood up and said, "You won't believe this, but I just went to another place." Their response disappointed me. I saw they were confused by my statements as they looked at each other. "Calm down first. You must go to the hospital," they whispered. I reiterated my explanation, recounting the situation I just returned from, but they didn't listen. Who was supposed to take me to the ER first? They quarreled. This angered me. My heart begged me to stay instead of returning to Earth. Despite my requests, they focused on my wounds. They wanted me to relax and get help. My classmates were ready to take me to the ER. While resting in the back seat, I remembered everything. I wondered if it was all a hallucination. Driving seemed to take forever. An unexpected feeling of vertigo surprised me again. It felt like I had gone back in time to the peak as I left my body faster. Man's voice returned. He told me that this was real and that I had to return to Earth to help mankind. He promised to return me quickly. I returned to my body feeling a great vitality. This time, the return seemed faster. I lay in a hospital bed with unfamiliar sights and sounds. For the first time, I knew I was back on Earth. I was careful as the doctor cleaned my wound with an antiseptic. I closed my eyes tightly. The process was quick. The doctor said, "The wound has been treated," smiling and removing his gloves. "Get some sleep to rest your body." I nodded and thanked the doctor as he left. All my experiences were conveyed to him. I depicted the mysterious place. After listening to my story, the doctor smiled slightly, indicating uncertainty, and left. Although the doctor did not respond, I can confirm that my experience was real. That encounter changed my outlook on life and confirmed my idea that everyone has a unique path and calling. I thought it was real and substantial. This precious memories will always be with me. Reassessing my relationship with my parents. After college, my parents and I had a strained relationship. I realized they had always sacrificed for me. Because of this, I'll approach them with gratitude. I started communicating with my parents and listening. Their opinion deserves greater respect, I realized. This change brought us closer. We gained understanding and valued each other's space and needs. The familial perspective I acquired from this experience was essential.